I mean, why would you then bring in kids, then you treat them that way? So you have to think again before you have them, yeah. And then on a serious one, I mean, you birthed these children, therefore you have no right to take their life, and you have no right to damage them, and not just mentally or psychologically, but also physical. We have heard stories where, especially or in the family setup, most of the time it's the fathers that do that. But nowadays, the world has become so bad that even the women are doing crazy things to children. You know, so on this one, I don't even have to go further. You know how heavy it is, and you understand that you are not supposed to do that. If if the world would tell you to say respect women, and a woman that is not even your own sister, but they're telling you treat them like your own sister, or treat them like your own child, meaning you cannot do that to your own child. And I'm talking to fathers, I'm talking to uncles, I'm talking to the cousins, I'm talking to the brothers as well. And same applies to the women, whoever that could be, if it's the mothers, the aunties, or whatsoever. But mostly in an African home, especially, it is none of uh, parents doing that. You find a father, I do not know what demon comes in their head, because I want to believe that any sober minded father, any sober minded uncle or brother or cousin can ever, not even just to say lift a finger, be it beating, be it it's on a sexual side or anything. I do not believe that they can do that. I don't know, maybe it's because it's where I'm coming from. I had never experienced a time where, of my either my brother, and I'm not even talking on the sexual side or anything, the sexual abuse or anything, but I'm talking about even just the physical beating, where you'd find that your brother wants to beat you, or your cousin wants to beat you, or your granddad, your father wants to hit you. It was usually the mothers who do that. Fathers will just give one word and say, hey, you got a punch. Then you even know that, oh, I'm finished, I have to sit down. They didn't have to do anything else. Now, if that's the case, and that's the kind of authority that you have as a man, so why would you want to damage your child even on a sexual side? Why? And when I say your child, I am still also talking to the brothers, I'm still talking to the uncles, because sometimes you find that maybe you've taken in a niece, or you've taken in a cousin, maybe because the parents are normal, or the parents are not well to do because you are well to do, and then you start um, taking advantage of the children. They did not sign up for this. If you know that you can't, and you know that you have this problem, better and say, you know what, I cannot keep this child, they better go stay somewhere. It's best that people think that you're just bad-hearted, but because you're trying to protect yourself. And there's some men also, not just even talking about children itself. There's some men that maybe you can bring in your sister, and maybe your sister is quite young, and let's say that I'm the wife, you bring in the sister, they do those crazy things, and it's not right. It is not right, man. Please, I beg you, especially on this one, if anything, not just men, but also women, may we not damage our children. Please, I beg you in the name of God. And then with what we just talked about, because I'll just leave it here, is that with whatever we've talked about, if you know that you're struggling on this one, seek help. Associate yourself with parents that, rather, not even just that know what's supposed to be done, but by you spending time with fellow parents, and when you interact, you get to learn how to do certain things, how to treat your children and everything. Let us do that. Or go for therapy as well. These children, take your children for therapy, take yourself for therapy, in parental skills and everything. And I know that no one can teach you to be a parent, because we actually expect it to become like it's an instinct thing that just comes within you, and then you begin to do certain things. But Do you know some people do not know how to do that? It doesn't just like click in their head that they are now a parent, or sometimes it's their personal traumas that they've gone through, and they bring that and they want to put it on their kids. So please, if you can find help, find help. If you can find like counselors, if you find friends that you have this community of friends that also have children, talk about these things. So maybe you may be having an issue with a 10-year-old, when there's another person who has had an experience with a 10-year-old, and there's something, I know it cannot be that one shoe fits all, right? Maybe whatever mechanism or technique that they did for their child to listen, or for their child to be as good as it is, or for them to be who they are in parenting. But sometimes there's something that you can learn from there, and also you can find that, you know what, you're not the only one going through it, and actually there could be help. Otherwise, above all else, pray, 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 and seek guidance from God, because these children, they are a blessing. It's so it's so heartbreaking to know that these children have to go through a lot for something that they did not sign up for. No child said, hey, and I know I always make a funny joke, especially to the teenagers, to say that, no, man, you're the one who fought to come here, and when you're giving them, I mean, they've already done the science and everything, so they actually even know what I'm talking about. But it's not that. It's not that. And when I'm talking about, it's like they were like, no, it's me. Because what they say, it's like one egg with 1,000 what semen trying to break into, and then that one breaks in. So I'll be like, yeah, the one who fought. But even as much as if you think in this crazy manner, it's not their fault. They did not plan. You just brought them in, and it's unfair to bring them and mistreat them. And maybe something that I can also, I know that I said I'm gonna end here. Something that has just come to mind. Don't bring in kids when you know that you cannot provide for them. And I know it's funny that I'm saying it, but it's just true. And I know you cannot really budget because it's God's plan, right? Everything is God's plan. And I can testify to that. Whereby you plan and say, okay, maybe no, I'm going to give myself 5 years from now. And then boom, within 1 year, another child comes. That's not God's plan. But what I'm trying to say is it's unfair to actually try to mistreat these kids and not give them the best life that they need to have, because they're here and you're the one who brought them. So you as a parent, actually you are mandated, or you are commissioned, or you are commanded to do what is right by them. All right then. I hope you've learned something, and if there's anything that you'd like to comment, please leave it in the comment section. I would really appreciate it, because I mean, in this channel, it's a moment of learning, right? And if you haven't subscribed by now and you've watched this, please do, and hit the notification button so that when I upload a new video, you will be among the MVP. All right then.